Latiya, my all-time favorite Chamorro dessert. Now there's two parts to Latiya, the pound cake at the bottom and then the custard that's poured over the pound cake. Some people use sponge cake. I like pound cake, especially from Betty Crocker. It's a dry mix in the box. If you have time to bake the cake, then I would use this brand. If not, in the freezer section, there's Sara Lee frozen pound cake, and that works really well when you're short on time. It's real easy to mix up this cake mix. You just follow the directions on the box. I've got the dry mix in here, adding water and 2 eggs. Okay, so you beat that on low for 30 seconds. Scrape the sides. And then you're going to beat it on medium for about 3 minutes. And that's all directions on the box. And it will double in size and have a little bit lighter of a yellow color. Alright, I have here a 9 by 5 glass loaf pan. Now I've been making this Latiya since 1994 or 95, and it always works beautifully in this glass dish. You simply spray the dish with pan spray and then pour your batter into it. It goes in the oven, 350 degrees, about 45 minutes. Kind of depends on your oven. And when it comes out, it rises beautifully, and this size of a dish fits the containers that I use to serve my Latiya in. Okay, so the pound cake is done. You let it sit in the loaf pan for about 10 minutes after it's been cooked and out of the oven. There you go. It's done. Even without using this pound cake for Latiya, it's a very good pound cake on its own. Okay, once it cools off, we'll go ahead and slice it and set it in our containers, then make our custard. Okay, here you can see how I've sliced the pound cake. Now I'll just go ahead and lay it in my serving dishes. For the custard, in a pot on medium heat, I've got 2 cans of milk. Refill the cans with water and pour it in. Add your sugar and a stick of butter. Okay, we'll let this heat up, stirring it constantly and till the butter melts, and this mixture comes to a gentle, slow boil. Okay, so the milk has come up to a boil. Now before I put my eggs in, I want to make sure this is a slow boil, not a hard boil. When you make custard, say in a professional pastry kitchen, you would normally temper your mixtures. So you bring 2 different liquid mixtures to the same temperature very slowly, adding a little bit of the milk to the egg mixture. I've tempered this before to make my Latiya recipe, and I did not like it as good as I like having my eggs a little bit shredded in the custard. So I'm going to let this boil come down. I don't want to taste or bite into big pieces of eggs, but when you have shredded eggs in the mixture, for me anyways, it tastes better than having a tempered custard. So if you like your custard really smooth, you would take a little bit of this hot milk, maybe a 1/4 cup, and add it slowly to the eggs. Get another 1/4 cup, add it slowly to the eggs while you're stirring the eggs, and so forth, and you'll get a smooth custard. But like I said, I've tried that before. I didn't really like it. It didn't taste as good as what I'm going to do. So I want this to come down just a little bit. Okay. And my temperature's on really low, about as low as you can get on my stove. I'm going to add the eggs slowly and stir quickly. Okay, so when you beat your eggs, you do need to use an electric beater or beat it really, really well by hand with a whisk. Some people don't even use eggs in their custard for Latiya. I don't like it. It doesn't taste as good. It doesn't taste as rich. Okay, so you can see there's a little bit of strings on the whisk. Okay. So you just add it slowly. Okay, when you temper this, you take the hot milk and pour some into the eggs, but I'm doing it the reverse because I don't want to temper my custard. When you make ice cream, you would temper your custard. So, okay. I've combined my egg and milk mixtures. I'm going to let this come again to a gentle boil. In the meantime, you should have your cornstarch water mixture on the side. And you want to stir that before you put it into your hot mixture here. Only because the cornstarch settles if you let the mixture set aside for a while. You can turn your heat up just a little bit so this comes to a boil. Okay, if you look real closely, my mixture has come to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and add the cornstarch water mixture. A little more. There we go. Okay, it's going to get really thick, but you want to continue to stir. Okay, just to kind of cook that cornstarch out of there. So 2 minutes, and then we'll pour this over the pound cake. You can see this is ready to go. It's got a few more seconds here, but you can see how the custard moves in the pot. A little bit of the eggs on the sides, right? That's okay. Okay, you don't have chunks of scrambled eggs, okay, but you can definitely see the shreds as I move it in the pot. Alright, that tells me it's ready to go. Okay, I've got my pans and my cake ready. We'll just pour this right over. And you just get your cinnamon, and over it goes. You can put more or less cinnamon, however much you like. These are two 9x13 pans. I had to make 2 pound cakes just because of its size. Alright, you'll have to find a container that works for you and how much Latiya you want to make. And once you do, you just stick with it. Okay? Cools on the counter for a little while and then into the fridge, and this is better the next day. Enjoy.